Oh, we all know about Moone Boy. I'm sure you all watched Moone Boy. It's an incredible sitcom set in Ireland in the 90s. With a 12-year-old boy and his adult imaginary friends. Huge success. 2 books out now. The second, The Fish Detective, actually is out next week. Star and producer Chris O'Dowd is here, as if he needed any introduction, along with Nick Vincent Murphy, the writer. Good morning.
Hello.
Good to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
Chris, it's very strange seeing you in the flesh, actually, because you're always on the telly, whether it's Moone Boy or one of the comedy panel shows, whatever it is. You're always on screen. Doesn't it get a bit boring when you flick through the EPG and you know you're on every channel?
I, like many members of the public, I'm tired of the sight of my own face. Particularly we're coming to the end of a book tour where we've kind of, it feels like you're on all the time, but really it's just like 1 week a year where people have to endure the ignominy of my face.
Oh, no, I don't think that can be true. Let's talk about Fish Detective, should we? The second book out. How did the first one go? I mean, was it successful, presumably? Otherwise, you wouldn't be bringing out a second.
Yeah, it went great. But if it hadn't gone great, do you think we go, yes, it was terrible. Here we are, though. Yes, no, it went wonderfully well.
You never know.
It was somewhat of a
could be the making
question.
of my career.
Yes, break to the truth. No, it was great.
We won the Irish Book Awards with the book, and it went down really well with the kids. And it's really for ages 8+. And the first one, The Blondie Years, and now this one, The Fish Detective, which is kind of more of a Christmas story. So it kind of takes place in the lead up to Christmas. And Martin Moone he really wants to get a Game Boy for Christmas, but he can't afford it. His parents are broke, and so he decides to get a job. So
he gets a job as a butcher boy in the local town, but the butchers is struggling because the fish shop across the road is doing wonderful business. Everybody that year in Boyle wanted a festive fish, Christmas haddock or whatnot, and they're producing these beautifully filleted fish at rock bottom prices, but nobody knows why. So he infiltrates the local fish factory and discovers a wonderful mystery that we can't tell you.
You've whetted our appetites now.
Yeah.
With the whole Moone Boy thing, the whole sort of phenomenon, what is it that works? Well, there's just something. Is it the fact that it is set slightly back in time, and it just has that? It does have. It might only be sort of 20 years, but it's still got that real nostalgic feel about it.
I think there's a touch of nostalgia to it, and also I think the show has got a lot of heart, but isn't too pushy about it. It's not saccharine, but I think it is kind of sweet, and there's not really that many shows that families can genuinely watch together and enjoy. Yeah. And I think obviously the book is written for a slightly younger audience, but we have parents all the time saying that they'll kind of steal it off their kids.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And it's essentially the humour, isn't it? Because it's not straightforward. It's not sort of slapstick or stand-up comedy. It's quite... It's quite sophisticated, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? I think that's true. Which is somewhat self-serving, but I do think that it's smart. I mean,
Well, I think we veer between kind of cleverness and silliness all the time.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah, but even the silly stuff isn't... It's not just pratfalls and stuff. It's surrealism.
You said that just as he did before.
Perfect.
You talk about comedy time.
And I knew I would.
But yeah, one thing about it is the universality. It's very universal. So it means it's about a small kid growing up in a small town, and so it's shown around the world, because a lot of people can identify with that. So Moone Boy is shown in New Zealand and Russia and Norway and everywhere, and even the books now are being translated into different languages.
In terms of writing, how difficult is it to put pen to paper, with a book, and having to carry on what the characters are doing on screen and how they're portrayed, how the actors are doing it? Is it difficult, or does it just flow?
I don't quite get you.
Well, in terms of the characterisation, keeping it going on the page. Because presumably you've got to write it thinking that the readers are going to read it and think of you.
Oh, I see.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I think to an extent that's probably true. But also there will be people who read the book because of its age group that aren't hugely familiar with the show. And also, if they think of me, that's okay. It's not like we're saying this is a completely different character to the person that you've seen on the television show. And, I've kind of co-written it, so it's kind of my voice coming through a lot anyway. And we do bring up new characters in the book, so people have to stretch their imaginations a bit more.
Anything exciting that we should
Say
be
that
thinking
again?
about? Anything exciting that we should be looking forward to in terms of new characters? Is it quite a variation from what we've seen before?
Well, what we get into in this book is we kind of wanted to get in to lay a small social message that when we started writing it, it was in the lead up to the last general election. And the word immigrant was being thrown around a lot, like it was a curse word. And both Nick and I are immigrants, so we found that kind of offensive. So we kind of we deal with immigration in a local community in a big way in this book, and how that is viewed from the eyes of a child, and the ridiculous nature of our own prejudices at times.
Talking of prejudices, I wonder what's the view in Ireland, in the sense that the portrayal of Ireland in that rural 90s slightly backwards setting, does that ever cause any ructions at all, or do people in Ireland just say, oh, well, that's how it was?
No, I think people in Ireland are smart enough to know that it's set in the past. So it's not like we're being in some way depicted as backward. It's a historical piece.
No, fair enough. And I have to say, my favourite scene ever was that thing with the dress and the toilet duck and the bleach.
Classic.
Do you know, I just think that was...
We've all been there.
We have all been there. You can see the logic in it, the tragic logic in it. Look, great to see you both this morning. And the book's out next week?
That's right. Book's out today.
It's out today.
Book's out today.
So we've got you hot off the press.
Bookshop, that's right.
And have you brought any in with you?
We've got 12. None for you guys, unfortunately. Yeah, no, we do.
Thanks
We've got loads
for
of
that.
books for you backstage.
Oh, excellent. You see that? Now, I thought you were going to say no then, so you've completely taken the wind out of my sails. Guys, good to see you.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Let's go to